Hello and welcome to the show. Today, I'd like to talk about something I've been seeing on social media, well, on LinkedIn anyway, since I don't spend a lot of my time on social media. But it looks like this is that time of the year when folks are graduating. There's been the call to bar in Nigeria. Those are people who have finished their schooling, they've gone to undergraduate studies, and then also they've attended their professional studies at the Nigerian Law School, and so they've graduated. And it looks like there are some other schools graduating here and there, whether local and abroad. And so I've been seeing stuff on social media about parents encouraging entrepreneurship as a career. I guess it comes from a good place because parents are trying to recognize or to validate that you don't have to do a 9 to 5 or work as a lawyer or as an accountant or as a doctor to get professional fulfillment or to make a living. And so there are parents that are putting up posts and people who are talking about how entrepreneurship is a viable career. Or, anyway, people talking about how entrepreneurship is a viable career. And so that's what I want to respond to today. Now, I want to point out pointedly that entrepreneurship is not a career, and that if we start telling our kids or our classmates or whoever that entrepreneurship is a career, we could be setting them up with the wrong kinds of expectations and set them up for a lifetime or years of frustration. Not to say that entrepreneurship is bad, don't get me wrong. It's just that entrepreneurship is not a career. People who are looking for a viable career should look for a career. People who want to be entrepreneurs or who want to start a business, who want to be self-employed, who wants to be a hustler or whatever it is you want to call it, should do just that. But don't think that by engaging in entrepreneurship, you are building a viable career. It's not the same. Now, I understand why parents would try and say that, it's okay, it's all good, entrepreneurship, good career, viable career. And that's because everybody's pretty much biting the entrepreneurial bug. There's lots of talk about it on social media, especially people who have entrepreneurial success. All the media outlets talk about these things all the time. In fact, sometimes we don't even talk about the success because currently in Nigeria right now, as at the date of this recording, March in 2024, it looks like everybody and their uncle and their auntie and their grandma and their cousin's house girl or house boy, like everybody's starting a fintech and everybody's raising funds. So if you pay attention to the what should I say, tech blogosphere or stuff like that, they celebrate it all the time. So and so graduates from Harvard or whatever raised 100 million pre-seed round, something fintech this, fintech that, and it's all over the place. So we're not even celebrating people who have actually made a killing in entrepreneurship, people who have been successful entrepreneurs, but we're celebrating people who have successfully raised seed rounds or raised financing. Now, raising financing is not the same thing as building a successful business. So yes, Zuckerberg raised financing and was able to build a business. But Zuckerberg also has contemporaries who raised finances and were not able to build a business. It's not the same thing. But because in the media, we're always talking about this person raised these millions of dollars, and of course, in Nigeria, we know how the naira to dollar, exchange rate is. So you see that somebody raised 10 in dollars, you quickly do the math and you're like, wow, man, that's a huge chunk of change. And yes, it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have hit entrepreneurial success. So I think it's all these things that are being bandied about on the internet, and then people talking about these sorts of things on blogs and podcasts that make everyone think entrepreneurship is cool. And so parents putting up the post and people blogging and giving advice about these sorts of things like, yes, you've been called to the bar, but I'm okay with my son or daughter having a career in entrepreneurship. And so I just want to let you guys know that it's not the same. Career is a career, entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. And in my own opinion, I don't think the two can meet. Although there are some people who say there is something called intrapreneurship, which is where you take a career in a company, but then you take entrepreneurial tendencies into it. And maybe we can make that a subject of another podcast episode. So this whole thing about parents saying, follow your passion. Yeah, you finished law school, but follow your passion. Or you finished your Wharton MBA, but follow your passion. Build a career in entrepreneurship. Actually is bad advice, and you're mixing a bunch of stuff. So what I've been trying to describe as entrepreneurship, or as hustling, or as being self-employed, or as whatever it is that you want to call it, it is a lifestyle and it is not a job. And this is what I mean. When you have a career is 9 to 5. You start at 9 or you start at 8, you can clock out at 5. Except in countries like Nigeria, where your manager, if he knows your phone number, he can harass you and you can actually work beyond that. But there are some climes, like in the UK, for instance, where with legislation, they actually have done a pretty good job of making sure that 9 to 5 is 9 to 5. So while I worked in Scotland, if my guard tried to holler at me at 6, it would be wahala. So they respected the whole 9 to 5 thing. So, but bottom line is, whether Nigeria or abroad, there's the expectation that if you have a 9 to 5, it's not your life. It's just a job. So I clock in at 8, I finish at 5, and Oga, I've done my own, I've given you my own. I beg, leave me, free me. I want to be with my husband, I want to be with my wife, I want to be with my kids, I want to go to church, I want to do choir practice, I want to whatever. And it's cool. Everybody respects the terms of engagement because it is a job. On the other hand, if you're going to be self-employed, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to be a hustler, you're going to be a businessman, you're going to be a businesswoman, you're going to be a whatever it is you call it, it is a lifestyle. Your business needs time and attention, and your business does not respect that you need to have choir practice or that you want to hang out with your wife or your husband or your children. Your business does not respect that. You've either put in the hours to justify the level of business growth and profit, or you haven't. You must put in those hours. And unfortunately, sometimes the hours are going to go beyond 9 to 5, especially in the beginning when you're going to have to be the general everything in the business. Instagram post, you're the one that is making it. Customer call, you're the one that is making it. Product delivery, you're the one that is making it. There's an angry customer, you're the one that is dealing with it. You're a happy customer, you're the one who is following up to try and get the testimonial or whatever. If customs people strike and you're not able to get your products, you're not able to get your deliveries through to the port. That's for those of you who have to import some stuff from abroad. Maybe like those of you who sell pajamas on Instagram. This kind of thing happens. It's your problem. You either get to Lagos yourself, or you're finding out how you're going to have to pay somebody to get on that whole thing, and it's a mess. It's a huge mess. That's if you're not cut out for it. So for somebody who is thinking, I want to build a viable career, and Momsy and Popsy is telling you that, oh yeah, entrepreneurship is a viable career, you're just going to be frustrated from the get. Because career is 9 to 5. I clock in, I clock out. Oga, give me my space. I want to go to choir practice. I want to watch movies. I want to cook for my husband. I want to take care of my kids. I want to take my girlfriend on a date. Blah, blah, blah. Those expectations, they fly. It's 9 to 5. But then, if you're going to be engaged in entrepreneurship, it does not follow. So yes, you have to stay home and do your children's homework. But then by the time children's homework is up and they've gone to bed, you have to pay your dues. You have to sit down and start writing your Instagram post or whatever. Or start sending out your invoices and, all the things you are not able to get done during the day. So, parents, part of the reasons why I'm saying parents and well-wishers, please stop telling people entrepreneurship is a viable career choice. It is not. Career is 9 to 5. Entrepreneurship, hustler, businessman, businesswoman, whatever it is you want to call it, it's a lifestyle. It's not 9 to 5. It does not respect 9 to 5. And if you want to put in 9 to 5, especially in the early days of it, the business is going to suffer. It's not going to reach its potential. So entrepreneurship is more like 24/7, 365, depending on the kind of business you're involved in. In fact, holidays. In fact, there are some businesses that holidays gone, like those are the main days that you have to grind in. There are some businesses that, 9 to 5 people, Christmas, you guys relax, you slack off. There are some businesses that Christmas, that's when the money is coming in. So Christmas, you have to really double down. Like I have a cousin who runs a bar, and family outings, people, say, we don't see you again, and blah blah blah. He's like, look, me being here, this thing is actually costing me money. I'm here because I love you guys, but look, this is weekend. This is when business is moving. So I actually need to be in the shop to make sure that stuff is moving. We need to sell the alcohol because the business has to be moving. So there's some people that weekends, that's their thing. Holiday, that's when they even need to double down even harder. So please, parents, stop telling your children or stop telling your wards or whatever that entrepreneurship is a viable career choice. If people want to do career, I beg, advise them well on career. If people want to do entrepreneurship, advise them well on entrepreneurship and let them know that this thing is plenty of time, it's high risk, but yes, there's also high reward. The newspapers, the magazines, the blogs, podcasts, everybody celebrates the high rewards. Unfortunately, it could also be no reward because there's some people that put in a lot and unbeknownst to them, it's not the right time. It's like YouTube. They started off, wanted to be video for dating, but, people are not there yet. Now, dating apps, huge thing. Luckily, YouTube, they were able to pivot. What else? In Nigeria, I know somebody who thought, at the time I thought it was a stupid idea, but now I can see that actually it works. This guy thought was based in Abuja, and this was a long time ago. But now this idea makes a lot of sense. This guy thought, you know what? These things called apps are becoming really popular. How about I make an app where if people want a taxi, they will just, ping the app, and then the taxi will come to them, and blah, 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 blah. And a bunch of us thought, Collins, you started again. This idea is stupid. This thing will never work. Looks like, like it actually was a good idea. It's just that the idea was ahead of its time. So now everybody knows Uber, and everybody knows Lyft, and everybody knows what are those other companies. If I didn't live it, if I didn't know Collins, if I didn't see it, I would have said, now somebody made up the story. But no, live and direct in Abuja, I saw it with my own two eyes. Or somebody who said, this is a fantastic idea. A bunch of us thought, this thing is rubbish. He actually tried. Got a few clients, wasn't able to make it work. I guess the timing wasn't right. Maybe he wasn't able to raise financing. I didn't ask him all the details. Why didn't this thing work? Or what are the financials like? But it seemed like it was an idea ahead of its time. So some other boys in the UK and America, they have executed on the idea very well, and they have gotten high reward. But then Collins, what did he get? He's moved on to another venture. So it was high risk, unfortunately, was no reward. A career, on the other hand, is not high risk, high reward. A career is stable. You get stable benefits. If your salary is 300K every month, you're getting that 300K every month. It's not up and down. You can make projections. You can plan. Okay, my salary, 250K every month. So we're in March now. December, I can hope to get this much if I'm removing 50K or 25 or 10K. You can plan. And it's more or less guaranteed. I mean, so long as you don't F up, like go and steal in the office or shout at your guy or let's see what else, or you come late perpetually, then it's more or less guaranteed that your salary is going to be there, especially if you're a civil service person. And then with career, it's stable, the paycheck is stable, the pension is stable. Entrepreneurship, there's no paycheck, well, there should be. If you do it right, you should be able to take a steady paycheck. But for most people, there's no steady paycheck, and there's definitely no pensions. That's for most folks, except people who are able to build viable business around it. So I'm sure that Dangote must have a healthy pension or some retirement package or something, based off the company. But for most folks, until you have business systems, the SOPs and employees and everything, no steady paycheck, no steady pensions. So parents, these are the reasons why I am begging you people, stop saying entrepreneurship is a viable career choice. Entrepreneurship is not a career. If your child is career minded, please talk to your child and coach your child accordingly. If your child is entrepreneurial minded, they like taking risks, they like, then now this is the time. Because if you've just finished law school, or you've just finished, maybe your parents sent you, to America, you went to go and do MBA in Wharton, and you're coming back now. If your parents, if they if they have money, then now is the time. As in, you're not married, you're staying at home. Now is the time to take the risks. Because if you flop, at least your meals are guaranteed. Popsy will help you out with fuel once in a while. Momsy is there to encourage you. You don't have wife and kids demanding anything of you, or a husband demanding that he wants you to come and spend quality time with him. things like that. So yeah, if your child likes taking risks and they have big dreams and stuff, then yeah, now is the time. They finish law school, now is the time. They can stay at home for 1 year or whatever, and you're trying to help them out with their business ideas. But I beg, if you have an inkling that your child is career minded, please coach this child accordingly. Entrepreneurship is not a viable career choice. Another reason why is because skills are not enough when it comes to entrepreneurship. When it comes to career, skills is enough. I mean, medicine, okay, well, not enough per se, but it's a good starting point. So, medicine, law, stuff like that. If I'm the best medical, whatever in my class, or the best lawyer, it's a start. It's a start, as in the skill is something. But in entrepreneurship, the skill isn't everything, because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, a hustler, a self-employed person, there's lots of stuff we're going to have to learn if we're going down this business route. So it's skill plus knowledge of sales, plus knowledge of marketing, plus leadership skills, because you're going to have to be leading one or two people. Let's face it, if you're a tailor, you will have tailors under you. If you're a wedding photographer, you will have second shooter. What else? I mean, you guys get the picture. No matter how big or small, leadership skills. You have to know small finance. How much money do I put in? How much do I put out? What's my profit going to be? What's my cash flow? How much money can I afford to spend in a week? What's the cost of running my business every week, every month? Things like that. Some level of operational skills. I think there's plenty of stuff that people are going to need to learn. But for career route, if I was the best engineer in my class, I'm the best engineer. I can go and get a job in Julius Berger or Dantata or whatever, and I'm off. But if I'm an engineer and I'm entrepreneurial minded and I want to strike off on my own, then the whole thing of I got first class in engineering, that's not enough. You're going to have to take your first class engineering. You have to learn sales, learn marketing, learn leadership, learn finance, learn operational skills, learn negotiating, learn what pricing. You guys get the gist. There's plenty, plenty, plenty. There's more learning that is required for people who want to be entrepreneurial or self-employed. So, summary: instead of parents calling this thing a career path because it's not, have the frank conversation, share some of these ideas that I've been talking about over here, and let the people know that, okay, my son, my daughter, you finished first class MBA, you're coming back to Nigeria. I commend you. Welcome back, my son. Welcome back, my daughter. You've done me proud. You've finished law school. You've done this. You've done as well. So how far? What is it that you want to do? Do you want to do this law thing, or do you want to do this engineering thing? Because I've noticed that you've been making this, you've been producing this, you're doing this thing on Instagram. So how far? What's the way forward? And you have the conversation. If your child is sound like a career person, then you guys need to knuckle down and come up with a plan. Now, okay, it's going to be career. You finish law school. So what are the firms in Abuja or in Lagos or in Port Harcourt? Which one are we going to apply to? Let's come up with a list. Let's start applying. Let's start networking. Let's get this thing going. But if they're saying that they're entrepreneurial and they want to do this, they have this idea, they have that idea, then sure, no problem. You guys need to have the conversation. You don't say, oh, okay, entrepreneurship is a viable career. When you have the conversation, okay, that's good. We already have this education thing locked down. These are the additional skill sets that you need to acquire. How are you going to handle sales? Have you started reading some stuff on financial literacy? Have you thought about working for somebody else to get some experience so that you can see how it is to grow a business? You need to have these frank conversations. And the reason why is because entrepreneurship might not be for everyone. So yes, everybody's celebrating it. Blogs are talking about it. People are Instagramming about it, tweeting about it, or whatever, but it's not necessarily for everyone. Now, the more people that join, the pound opinion, the better, because I think everybody should have a taste. Because even if you try and you fail, the kind of skills that you're going to learn in entrepreneurship are transferable into politics, into career, into anything. Even if you want to be a pastor, let's say you decide to be in business for yourself and you wanted to sell a gogoro and these hash drinks, and the thing didn't work out. The skills that you learn in building relationships with patrons will transfer very well if you decide to open up a church later on, or if you're church community calls you in to be a junior pastor or something. So the more people that try it, the better. You will learn a lot. Skills are transferable. But please, parents, cousins, big sisters, big aunties, big uncles, stop telling your wards, your people who have passed through you, your children, that entrepreneurship is a viable career, because it's not. Entrepreneurship is not a career. If somebody's thinking career, please coach them accordingly. Let it be career. If somebody's thinking entrepreneurship, then coach them accordingly. Let it be entrepreneurship. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Please connect with me on WhatsApp. I love hearing from you guys. The number is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234 for Nigeria. Then where else? LinkedIn. Please connect with me on LinkedIn as well. My name is Tavishima Ayede. I'm the host of the show. Don't worry about the spelling of my name. You can confirm it and my email address from the link where you're currently listening to this episode. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording. And don't worry, I remember that I was supposed to get back to you guys on no, not objection handling, on what's it called, buying signals. Yes, how do you know that you have a buying signal? How do you know that people are interested? Yeah, I was supposed to do that today, but this entrepreneurship as a career thing, it was just scratching my brain. So I said, you know what, I need to make this career now. I'm sorry, not career. I need to make this podcast episode now and get this thing off my chest. So yeah, so we'll be off to the regular scheduled programs at the next episode. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode.